shining a light where the shadows creep, for the lost, the stolen, the ones who will weep. She won't turn away, she won't back down, even when the loony clowns come round. Threats don't shake her, lies don't win. She stands for justice, right till the end. Want the truth, want the best, wanna be safe as you chat. Find kids true crime, worth your time. She's got your back, she's on the line. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok too, Facebook stream, she'll fight for you. Chase fame, some chase views, but she fights for those with nothing to lose. For the kids who vanish without a trace, she won't stop till she cracks the case. They try to silence, they try to scare, but truth don't break and she's still there, calling out monsters, showing their game. Justice comes when you speak their name. Want the truth, want the best, wanna be safe as you chat. Find kid true crime, it's worth your time. She's got your back, she's on the line. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok too, Facebook stream, she'll fight for you. Kids stand strong, she makes the choice. For victims gone, for those in need, she's fighting hard, she won't concede. Want the truth, want the best, wanna be safe as you chat. Find kids true crime, worth your time. She's got your back, she's on the line. YouTube, Twitter, TikTok too, Facebook streams, she'll fight for you. At the end of the day, this is all we have to say. Viper will always have her back. He will take you right in the sack.
Hey, hold on a minute, you guys. I'm doing something here. Oh shoot, I'll have to wait. Okay, hello. So I'm just gonna recap a few things from Lori's trial today. What is this? Day 3, I think. Oh, I was busy doing other things, so I did not go live. What is going on with this? So weird. Okay, I'll quit playing. All right, there's only 2 things I want to go over. All right, this here was a lady, what's her name, Nancy Joe, that met Charles on a LDS dating website, okay? And she went out to dinner with Charles the night before his life was taken from him. And yeah, Lori, she's something else, you guys. She is. Hold on.
When you learned that in December that he had been killed, Did you learn when that had happened? Did you try to investigate?
I did. They said the date, and I thought, oh my gosh, that's right about when I went out with him. And so I went to my phone and thought I probably had deleted our text conversations. If I'm not dating someone and I text, I usually delete the thread, but I had not. And I had the conversations, and then I realized that I was with him until 10:45 that night and that he died at 7:30-ish the next morning.
And did you later then talk with the police in April of 2020 to tell them what you knew about this case?
I did.
Thank you. The state has no other questions.
All right, here we go.
Nancy Joe, right?
Correct.
And we have not met before,
We
correct?
have not.
Okay. And you stated that your husband, or my husband, told you that he was going through a divorce. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And did you have any way to verify that?
No, I didn't try to verify that.
Okay. So did it surprise you later to find out that we were not in the process of a divorce?
Charles was in the process of a divorce.
He was not in the process of a divorce. Did it surprise you to find that out? You've seen it all on TV where we're not getting divorced.
Okay.
So on the website that you met him, did he say he was divorced?
I'm not certain.
Would you have gone on a date with him if he would have said he was married?
If I would have realized how married he still was, maybe not. But I just met for dinner. I wasn't sleeping with him or anything.
Do you go on dates with married men?
Not
naturally?
Argumentative.
Oh, my.
Subject under
Oh.
611.
Lori. Come on now. Here you've been with Chatty Boy since when? 2018? I would say for sure by 2019, you guys were doing things. Can you believe that?
Harassment.
All right. I'll sustain the objection.
Your Honor, do I not have a right to cross-examine this witness for what she has already testified to?
You can cross-examine her about what she's testified to.
So you did go on a date with a married man,
I went on a date with Charles.
but you did not know he was married.
I knew his divorce was not final.
His divorce was not started.
Okay.
Okay. So in your text messages, you asked Charles if he was a good kisser. Is that correct?
Maybe, sure.
Did he answer that text message?
I'm
gonna
sure.
object to
I'm sure he did.
relevance. Again, 611 harassment.
I'll sustain the objection for relevance and hearsay.
So are you trying to tell me and this jury that you went on one date with my husband and he told you all the details of our lives?
I'm telling you the truth, and that's what I know.
So you spent your whole date getting to know each other, talking about me.
Jeez.
Don't flatter yourself. No, I
Woo!
don't spend the whole time talking about you.
You talk.
Don't flatter yourself. Woo-hoo. Hey, Charlotte, how you doing tonight? I'm just going to do a little recap here. I wasn't able to stream it because I've been doing stuff here at home, but I was paying attention to the trial. Lori's not liking Charles' date the night before his life was taken. Listen to this little demoness.
you knew a lot about me, right?
I knew what I've testified to.
What else did you talk about on your date?
Lots of things.
Like what, for instance?
Life, kids, the church, lots of things.
Okay. Did he tell you about anything about our other 4 children?
Yes,
So you knew that we did have 5 children as well?
I did.
Okay. Did he talk to you about my daughter Tylee?
He did.
Did he talk about his relationship with her?
I don't recall that.
Did he talk about the contention in his relationship with my daughter Tylee?
I don't recall that.
I'm sure you don't.
I'm
Ooh,
going to object to comments by the defendant made after questions testifying.
Sustain the objection.
On your date, you talked about
Oh,
my
Jesus.
husband was a life insurance salesman. Is that correct?
I knew he did something with money and insurance, but I really didn't know the details of what he did for work. Like I said, I don't ask the details about what someone does for work when I'm trying to get to know someone.
But you knew that he sold life insurance. You stated that.
I believe that I had a vague understanding that he did something with insurance.
And then he brought that up again at dinner.
No, we didn't talk about his work at dinner.
I thought you said you did talk about, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said you did talk about that he changed the life insurance policy at dinner.
Well, you were asking me if we talked about that he sold insurance, which that didn't happen. But yes, he did tell me that he changed the beneficiary of his life insurance policy at dinner.
Did he tell you how much his life insurance policy was for?
Yes, he did.
What did he say?
$1 million.
Did he tell you how much my life insurance policy was for?
I do not recall.
You don't recall?
We didn't talk about you very much in that vein.
When did you talk to him about me very much then? If it wasn't at dinner, was it in your text messages?
We were talking about what he was going through in the process of separating from you, not about what your life insurance policy was worth. And we talked about you on the phone, and when I say you, meaning what he was doing as he was going through this separation.
So let me understand. You were dating some different men on this website, right? From the websites.
Sure.
Would you say it was common for men to be talking so much about their supposed ex-wives during their conversations with a potential?
It's actually very common.
Really?
Really.
Interesting.
I'm going to object to the defendant making comments after her questions. and
I'm
move
sorry,
to
Your
strike.
Honor. I won't do that again.
All right, please stop.
oh
just
my
ask
God.
questions.
Oh my God, you guys. I cannot wait till I start feeling better and some other things going on at home. I am going to do a parody of this. Okay? Yes, she is entertainment. She's the gift that keeps on giving, even though it's a sad situation. Right, right. And don't worry, people. Don't get excited because I'm friends with JJ's auntie, and they laugh at everything I do concerning Lori. Okay, now listen. That lady held her own pretty good. I'm kind of disappointed in the prosecution because she could have. She's putting the jury to sleep. There you go. I said it.
So there were some text messages between you and my husband after the dinner on July 10th. Is that correct?
Correct.
What time would those text messages have occurred?
After dinner,
What time?
10:45-ish.
10:45 to what?
I'm not certain, ma'am. After dinner.
10:45 to midnight, maybe?
I just told you I don't know. Maybe.
What did you discuss in those text messages?
And I'm going to object to relevance again. If there's a specific area.
Sustain.
You testified a minute ago that Charles told you a lot of things about his wife. You didn't say ex-wife, but you said wife. Is that correct?
Okay, sure.
What were a lot of things?
Dang,
Things that
girl.
I've testified to.
Can you be more specific?
Wow.
Am I allowed to do a narrative then?
Let's go on sidebar.
I would love to see Lori's face right now talking to her. See, if Lori knew better, why didn't her little chatty boy tell her about this woman and about what Charles and Nancy Joe talked about? How come Chad didn't tell her that? Chad knows everything, right? You know what's going to be really sad when Adam's on the stand and Kay. That's wow. Yeah. Let's read this up.
This witness shouldn't take too much longer. I'll have the jury wait for a few minutes. We'll see if we can finish this witness as we go into the lunch hour. But I'll excuse the jury for just a few minutes because we're having technical difficulty with the court reporter being able to hear. Is that correct?
That's what I
Yes.
recall, Your Honor.
Are you sure you wanted to answer that question? Because you're opening up a really big door. If you want her to answer the question, I'll have her answer the question.
How am I supposed to know what a lot of things are?
All right. If you want her to answer the question and there's no objection from the state, we'll
No
bring the
objection.
jury back in and have her answer the question. All right. Let's bring the jury in.
Oh my God. Okay. Adam is her brother. She's got another brother. He was like the black sheep of the family. And then Kay is Charles' sister, which is JJ's grandma. So, from my understanding, Adam's going to be testifying tomorrow. I don't know if Kay is. So, we are going to speed this up here because Lori comes back. So, we're thinking, right, Lori's going to have an attitude, right? Here we go again. I think her attorney said something to her. Like, you're opening yourself up to places you don't want the prosecutor to go. All right, hold on.
Miss Hancock, you said that you had seen on TV that my husband had passed away. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you indicated after that you saw my sister-in-law, Kay Woodcock, on that show and you reached out to her. Is that correct?
I didn't indicate that, but that is correct. I reached out to Kay after I saw that Charles had died.
Okay. And did you do that through Facebook or
I did.
social media? Okay. How many times between that first contact and now have you and Kay Woodcock communicated?
I've spoken to her just once. I've texted her here and there regarding, I've texted her here and there about other things. I don't know what I can say.
Okay. How many times have you texted her?
I have no idea.
Like more than 10?
Maybe.
Okay. Have you ever turned over those communications to the state?
Okay. I want to say this. God, what was I going to say? I hate it when I forget what I was going to say. Okay, Lori, Kay. Forget it. Forget it. I'll mute again, or I'll stop if I figure it out.
No,
Did they ask you for them?
no.
Okay. Did you ever turn over the text conversations you had with my husband to the state?
I was never asked, but I understand that they retrieved them via having them through Charles' phone.
Okay.
I would have had I been asked.
Okay. Did you turn over any other communications that you had with anyone else regarding this case to the state?
I don't believe I've had any other regarding this case to turn over to anybody, so no.
Okay. How many times have you spoken to this prosecutor?
To Ms. Kay,
Yes, to Miss Kay.
I met with her once in person and one other phone call, and then just text messages about the logistics of being here today.
Okay. How many text messages would you say?
I have no idea.
More than 10?
I know court was running behind, so she had to text me to come at a different time. Probably counting yesterday and today to redo the time, more than 10, yes. Prior than that, probably no.
Okay. Did you have a meeting with her to prepare for this testimony?
I met with her once,
How long was that meeting?
an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay. Was anyone else there?
No,
Have you ever spoken to my brother, Adam?
yes, but only because I ran into him at my grandson's pickleball tournament the other day.
And how did you know that was him?
Because I've seen him on media via the situation surrounding you.
Ooh.
So you initiated a conversation with him?
I just,
Of course, everybody knows. Majority of the people of the world know who Lori is and the situation surrounding her. But I don't think that lady can say it because it's gonna, yeah. They must have it where they can't talk about the Idaho case. Now, Lori's got to realize that she was going to say Adam's, because Adam and her uncle have a YouTube, but I think it's more than that because they all live in Arizona, so they're going to run into each other, right? Plus, they're LDS, and there's functions everywhere except for Kay. She's in Louisiana.
said hi, and he asked me who my grandson was, and I pointed it out, and that was the end of it.
So you introduced yourself to him?
Big deal, Lori.
To my brother?
I don't know that I introduced myself, but maybe.
How would he know who you were?
I don't know that he knew who I was. I knew who he was.
So you went up and talked to him?
I did talk with him, yes.
He didn't call you over, so you went up and talked to him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when you were talking to him, you told him you were who?
I told him that my name was Nancy Jo Hancock.
And did he recognize that name from something?
Can I go back and change how I met your brother? I forgot this until right now. So on a dating app, your brother's picture came up on my dating app. And I sent him a message and said, but he had a different name that he used, not Adam. And so I just sent him a message and said if he was going to use someone else's pictures, he should probably pick someone different than Adam Cox. That's how I met him.
That's how you met my brother, Adam?
Correct.
Do you know what perjury is?
Oh, Jesus.
Absolutely.
I object, Your Honor, to question. Argumentative harassment.
How long was this conversation that you had with my brother at the pickleball tournament?
A couple of minutes, maybe less.
And how many times had you communicated with him before that?
Only that message on that dating app. Besides that,
One message, one time?
I don't remember. I think he messaged me back, and it didn't continue.
So just the one day then? Maybe several messages in one day?
I might have sent him one other message, but it was just one interaction, and there was nothing further.
And you did not schedule a date with him?
I did not.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to Brandon Boudreau?
Yes.
Okay, when?
He attends the same church that my daughter does, and he happened to be at their house briefly, and I didn't really speak to him. I just knew that that's who he was
And how did you know who he was?
because my daughter told me.
And who did she say he was
Brandon Boudreau.
in relation to me?
She knows the story, and I know the story, so she just had to tell me that his name was Brandon Boudreau.
That he was married to my niece? Is that the information that you had?
I know that he was married to your niece, yes.
Okay. Just the association is all I was asking. And you did speak to him that time?
Well, I don't believe I spoke with him.
Okay. Yeah, but you met him? Or
I don't know that I even met him. I was there. He was there with some other people, and I knew that that's who that was.
So you didn't introduce yourself to him?
I did not.
Okay. Did you speak to any other law enforcement besides Miss Kay? Not that she's law enforcement, but did you speak to any other law enforcement about this case or be interviewed?
Yes.
Who? Who did you speak with?
Detective Moffat is who interviewed me. I believe that's. I might have left a message for him. I couldn't tell you who with, but the only one that I spoke to was Detective Moffat, Nathan Moffat.
And when was that interview?
In 2020, I believe in April. A long time ago.
Okay. How long was that interview about?
It was a telephone interview, and it lasted 45 minutes, I'd say.
Is that the only law enforcement that you spoke to besides the prosecutor?
Yes.
And how long between that interview with Detective Moffat and your first communications with Ms. Kay, how much time passed in between there?
With Trina Kay,
Correct.
I met with her just a month ago, 5 weeks ago, and I gave an interview in 2020, so.
Is that the first communication you had with Ms. Kay was 5 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Hancock, were you aware at the time of your date that I did not know that my husband was on dating websites and dating women?
Objection, speculation.
Sustained.
Were you informed by him that I knew of the situation of us being separated?
He was under the impression you were having an affair, so him moving on was a natural effect from that.
He told you that?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Just to recap, you said that you met my husband Charles, on July 3rd. Is that correct?
Approximately. Give or take a day.
And you went on a date with him on July 10th.
Correct?
So that was what, 7 days later?
Approximately.
So would it be fair to say that you knew my husband for a week?
Approximately.
Okay. And then you had no contact with Charles after that, correct?
Well, he was dead, so clearly I didn't have contact with him.
Okay. And it wasn't until you saw that he had passed away on the news that you reached out to anyone, is that correct?
Correct? I didn't know he was dead.
And that was about 6 months later, is that correct?
I believe it was December, so July to December is 5 months, I believe.
Okay. And then you found Charles' sister, Kay Woodcock, my sister-in-law, yes?
Objection asked and answered.
I'm just going over the timeline, Your Honor.
I'll allow it. Go ahead.
So when is the then you're referring to?
So at the 5 months later that you said in December, after that is when you contacted Kay Woodcock?
To express my condolences for her brother passing away and wanted to let her know that I had had dinner with him that last night and how much he loved JJ and how excited he was to see him the next morning. And just
Thank you, that's enough.
Jeez.
I'm just recapping here, and you contacted her through Facebook, is that correct?
And again, asked and answered.
I don't think that was actually asked yet. I'll overrule. Go ahead.
yes, as I said before, I contacted her through Facebook.
Okay. And then sent a few text messages, is that correct?
That is
Yeah.
correct.
This is recap of everything we've already gone through.
And then you said you met with police on April 22nd, 2020, is that correct?
I didn't say April 22nd. I said I believed it was sometime in April.
Okay,
And I didn't meet with them. It was a telephone interview.
okay. And that was around 1 year after my husband passed away, is that correct?
Well, July to April would be 10 months, so.
No more questions, Your Honor?
All right, redirect.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, we're not going to listen to the reduct. I mean, come on now. I'm going to back up here. I want you people to think. What is Lori's defense going to be? Okay. She hasn't showed it. However, I'm going to have you guys listen to this because I think I know where she's going with this with this man. Hold on a minute. Lori's still talking to him. Lori. Hold on.
Search warrant was about a little after 11:45. I was
Okay.
already at the scene shortly after 9 o'clock.
Okay. Did you see the injury on the back of Alex's head with your own eyes?
I did not take a close look at it. I saw the paper towel that he was holding against his head.
But you did not see the wound itself?
No,
Okay. Are you aware if Alex's hands were swabbed for gunshot residue?
Okay,
there would have been no reason to swab for gunshot residue.
pay attention to this.
Why is that?
He had already stated that he was the shooter.
He had stated it?
To my knowledge, that's how the information was provided to me.
Okay. Are you aware if my hands were swabbed for gunshot residue?
I am not.
Okay. Are you aware if my daughter's hands were swabbed for gunshot residue?
I am not.
Do you know for a fact that Alex shot the gun in question?
Based on the information provided, that is what I have, yes.
So you know that for a fact.
Just with the information that's been provided, I can't tell you one way or another if there's another shooter because the evidence does not show that there was.
Okay. So all you really know for sure, after your 5 years of investigation, is that my husband was shot 2 times, 1 by that particular gun, 2 with those particular bullets, at my residence, and that he passed away as a result of that. Would that be correct?
Oversimplified, there is a lot more information that is available to us for that.
Is that correct? Is that question correct?
Those are some known facts, yes, but that is not all we know.
So you can't really tell me for sure who shot him, can you?
Well, as we've established, I was not present when it happened. I can only go with the facts of what people have said and what the evidence shows.
Okay. You don't really know what time he was shot, do you?
Actually, no, I don't.
Okay. You don't really know if he was falling back or lying supine on the floor, do you?
Yes, I do.
You don't really know what time my husband actually passed away, do you?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Thank you. No more questions.
All right.
All right, redirect.
Your Honor,
So she's trying to do reasonable doubt. However, I think she's going to blame this on Tylee. She's going to say Tylee. And I will say Chandler PD messed up in this case. Big time. On how they did this investigation. Because there's many different reasons. I don't even know where to begin. All right. So that's all I wanted to show because that to me was the most important things. However, we gotta watch Lori. She's, the gift that keeps giving. All right. And I want to show this tomorrow. Join me and Mrs. Barbara because tomorrow is Timmy's birthday. And we don't want to have Miss Barbara all by herself on that day. So we're going to have a celebration of Timmy's life. So let's support Miss Barbara through her. Tomorrow will be a rough day for her. Yeah, 6 p.m. Central Time. So that'll be what, 4 your time? But yeah, so I found that interesting. My opinion, I think Lori's doing good, considering she's never went to school. Okay. I don't think she's really trying to. Also, see, I'm changing my mind here. Also, I feel that she knows maybe she's not going to win this, but why she's doing this is so she can confront people that have talked about her. Right? I don't know. That's just my opinion. There's much more. All right. I want to thank you, Charlotte, for being here for me. And anybody else who watches, please give this video a like if you want or not. Yeah, so that'll be it for now, guys. Thank you, Charlotte. Love you. See you tomorrow.